Hey everyone, this is my video on Webpack. Just so you know, I'm a very beginner to Webpack and I have learned many things about Webpack and I'm gonna share about them with you guys. So, what is Webpack? How do we use it? As you can see here, Webpack bundles your scripts, your assets, your JavaScript files, style sheets, images, you name it. Whatever files we have in our project, they can be bundled. What is bundled? So, for example, if we have in a project, if we have tens or hundreds or thousands of files, maybe they can be JavaScript files or many number of images or many number of style sheets, and using Webpack we can bundle them and you can make them into a single file. Like we can take all the JavaScript files and bundle them into a single JavaScript file, and we can take style sheets, CSS files, many number of CSS files, and bundle them into a single CSS file. Yeah, just this is the main purpose we use Webpack for. Yeah, let's see what we can do here. For this video purpose, I have a badge here, and this badge has 4 criteria. I'm gonna discuss about these 4 criteria in this video, and let's get started. Okay, first I'm gonna talk about implementing Webpack in a new application, and along with this I think I might cover using Webpack to bundle ES6 modules. Okay, to do this I already have a project set up here in VS Code, and this is my project. Inside this project I'm gonna create a HTML file called index.html, and I'm also gonna create a folder named src. The reason why I'm creating src folder is that by default Webpack looks for a file called index.js file inside src folder. That's the entry point for the Webpack. Using this JS file, it gets all the dependencies and then it's gonna bundle them and then create a output destination that is going to be a distribution folder, dist, a folder named dist. Inside this folder it's gonna create main.js. That's the output of the Webpack. I'm gonna show you how we can do that, and for this purpose I am also gonna create a file called maybe bar.js inside src folder. Okay, now let's put some code into our HTML file. There you go. I'm gonna put the title as Webpack, and also inside body I'm gonna create a h1 tag with welcome. Okay, this is our basic HTML file, and this HTML file is gonna use the script src index.js file. Okay, let's write some code into our JS files. This bar.js, it's gonna export a default function named bar, which returns let's say Webpack. Okay, and now this exported function is going to be imported into our index.js. Let's do it. Import bar, as it is a default function, we are not gonna put that in curly braces. Oh, I did. Okay, import bar from bar. Okay, we import bar, and then I'm gonna create a const e, and then call the function, and then okay, bar returns webpack string, right? So I'm gonna put that into our HTML file using document dot get element by id. So in the HTML file I have to create id with bar, id equal to bar. So this p tag will be populated with webpack. So document.get element by id, id will be bar, and inner HTML will get value from variable e. This is a simple project, and now let's see how we can implement webpack into this application. Okay, to do that we are gonna need node.js npm, and we have to initialize npm. To do that, I'm gonna open the terminal here, and I'm gonna say npm init y, and I'm gonna initialize webpack using npm webpack, and also webpack. I have to install it, so I have to specify I. npm install webpack and webpack client into our dev dependencies. When we do that, our package.json is gonna be populated with dev dependencies with webpack and webpack command line interface. Okay, there we go, we did it. And now what I'm gonna do is to bundle. There are two ways we can bundle our files. One is without configuration, and the other one is with configuration. First I'm gonna show without configuration. Configuration means we can have a config file to do all our works. First let me show without the config file. Here I have my HTML, and then I have installed webpack, and now I am gonna say npx webpack. When I do this, it should create a main.js in the dist folder. Let's see. Okay, first let me show you what is the output. We have only welcome now, and I did not run this npx webpack. Before I do that, I wanna okay, let me do it. Npx webpack here. We have got a warning, but did it create main.js? Yes, it did. And now I'm gonna change my source here to dist main.js. So what happens now if we open our HTML file? We got webpack to welcome webpack. Previously, if you remember, there was only welcome, there was no webpack. Now we got our welcome and webpack from our modules. So what we did is we implemented Webpack in a new application, and we use Webpack to bundle ES6 modules. Bundle ES6 modules in the sense it bundled both the bar.js and index.js into main.js into a single file. Okay. Next I'm gonna talk about optimizing HTML CSS JS and using loaders to handle Sass precompiling and babel transpiling. Before I start this, I'm gonna create a CSS file into our project, and then I'm gonna show how to load that CSS file. After that, I'm gonna talk about optimizing HTML CSS and JS, and after that I'm gonna talk about loaders for Sass precompiling and babel transpiling. Okay, let's get started by creating a CSS file into our project. For that, in the src folder, I'm gonna create folder named styles. Inside the styles, I'm gonna create a file called style.css. Okay, inside this CSS, I'm gonna say h1, and it's gonna take color red. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna create a config file. Now I'm gonna show how to bundle with using config file. For that, I'm gonna create a file called webpack.config.js. This is created in the, I'm sorry about the sound, but this file is created in the root directory. Root of the project. Inside this file, what we have is module.exports, and open the object. Okay, inside this module.exports, we can configure entry and output of Webpack. Like, we can change the entry. It might not be src as always. It cannot be dist. The output might not be dist always. We can configure whatever we want to name them, and those entry and output can be specified here, like entry, and specify the dist, like path of it. Here I'm not gonna do that now, but in this I'm gonna create first install the loaders for CSS. To do that, I'm gonna do npm install. Before doing the CSS loaders, I want to do the HTML plugin, install HTML plugin. To do that, I'm gonna say npm install html-webpack-plugin into our dev dependency. Inside this module.export, I have to specify the HTML webpack-plugin. To do that, first I'm gonna declare it const HTML webpack-plugin equals require HTML webpack-plugin. Okay, now I have to specify that inside we have to configure it inside the module.exports as we have to specify plugins key, which takes an array, Inside that we're gonna instantiate the HTML webpack plugin, and then inside that we're gonna say template key, which takes a value in it's gonna be index.html, as it's in the root. Something is wrong, so comma is expected. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, we install the HTML plugin, and now we are gonna install our CSS loader and a style loader. To do that, I'm gonna do npm install css loader style loader. CSS loader is to load our CSS file. Style loader is for putting all the styles into our HTML file. They are applied on the DOM using the style loader. Now we are gonna install them into our dev dependency. After installing them, we are gonna configure them. To configure them, what we need to do is give me 1 second. We are gonna inside the module.exports, we are gonna configure them like I forgot, let me double check that. Yes, I got it. Okay, we wrote the plugins. After plugins, this loaders has to be written inside a module key. This module key opens an object. Inside that we're gonna have rules key. Rules is gonna open an array. Inside that we're gonna have an object with test key, which takes a regular expression for our file extension. So it's gonna be like .css, and it's there, and it's gonna also take use key, which in which we have to specify the loaders in a specific order. Like the order is always from right to left. The first loader has to be the CSS loader and then the style loader. So because we need CSS first and then we need to style it, so it's always from right to left. The right side have to be the first loader. Style loader is the second one. CSS loader will be the first one. Order is really important here. That's one thing to remember. Now I loaded my CSS. Let's bundle this. Okay, before we bundle using this config file, we need it's better to have the commands inside the package.json script key. To do that, we are gonna create build command with the command goes like this: webpack config. It says like the config file is webpack.config.js, and also to open our HTML file using a server, we need a server. For that we need to install webpack server. To do that, we use npm install webpack dev server into our dev dependency. After installing the server, let's write the sorry about that. Cancel. Let's write a command to start our server using the command start, and it takes webpack. I think it is serve open. It opens the default browser. Okay, let's see if it is working. First we need to build our project using npm run build. Okay, I think it's done. Now let me open npm run start. It's gonna open our default browser. Opens the server 8080. There you go, we got our welcome webpack, but we did not get the styling. It's because I think I understood. We need to import our css import /styles/style.css. Okay, let me close the server and then build it again. Okay, and now let me open the server, npm run start, and fingers crossed, yeah, we got red welcome, so the css is applied. Let me show you main.js here. No, okay, nothing. I'm sorry about that, and I'm gonna close the server here. Control C. Okay, what did we do now? We loaded css into our project, into webpack, and what I'm gonna talk about now is optimizing HTML CSS and JS. Optimization. What does optimization do is it's gonna like take away extra spaces. It's gonna minimize the file, and it saves so much memory, and it makes the app run fast. There are many advantages with optimizing. Let's see how we can optimize our HTML first, and then CSS, and then JS. Okay, this is our HTML file in src folder, and this is our HTML file in, I think this is already optimized. That is because I'll show you the difference. We are going in production mode, but if I change, where is this? Okay, in here in modules.exports, if I say mode as development, comma, and then build it. Now we are in the development mode. Let's look at our HTML file. See, this is not optimized. It has all the extra spaces and everything. Now to optimize this, I have to use some plugins. I'll show them. For HTML, what we are gonna use is html-minimizer-webpack-plugin. To do that, you can find them in here, webpack.js. What we need to do is first we need to install it, and then we need to use it. Okay, first let's install I'm gonna copy this, npm install, and run it in my machine here. Okay, now I have my plugin getting installed. Meanwhile, I'm gonna do what we need. We are gonna, in webpack.config.js file, we have to first create this html-minimizer-plugin and then instantiate it in around here. Okay, first let me paste that in config file. Okay, I'm gonna need minimizer plugin, and then I'm gonna need optimization. I'm gonna put that in my module.exports. Okay, now if I build, let's look at the HTML file now, and let's look at it after building. Did you see that? It changed to a single line with all this extra spaces gone. That's how we optimize HTML. Next, I'm gonna show you CSS. To do CSS, what happens in here is, if we have multiple CSS files, the minimizer plugin, the mini-css-extract-plugin, what it does is it's gonna minimize them into a single file, all CSS files, or some blah 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 happens, and then it becomes one single file. To do that, we are gonna use a plugin called, mini-css-extract-plugin. This plugin, to use this, first we are gonna install it. Oh, before doing that, I'm gonna create one more CSS file named maybe, what shall we call, layout.css. Inside this, I'm gonna create for body, background color, let's take beige. Okay, now what happens is these two files will become into a single file, and also we need to import it in our JS. That is very important. Without import, it doesn't happen. Import styles/layout.css. Okay, we did that. Now we are gonna install our plugin. Let's copy the code, npm install plugin, and then paste it here. It's gonna create a dev dependency for that. After that, what we need to do is we imported and we have a file, and then we are gonna copy this one, this here, and then put it on our webpack. Okay, and then we need to use it like this. I think we have rules, right? You can copy this object and put it in oh, we already have CSS, so we don't need the style loader. We're gonna take off the style loader and then use this mini CSS extract plugin loader. I'm gonna paste that, and then let's build. Did we install it? Yes, we installed mini CSS. Now let's build and see. Okay, there are errors. Style.css. What is the error? build failed. Forgot to add mini plugin. Oh, I forgot to add the mini plugin in the plugins. Okay, we got to instantiate it. We forgot that. Mini-css-extract-plugin. That's it. And then let's build it. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it's successful. We got the main.css file. The reason why we have main.css file is we have main.js. It's gonna create with the same name, so it's gonna be main.css with both our h1 style and body style from styles.css and layout.css. There you go. And the third one is to optimize JS file. Let me show you our main.js file. It has so much data. It uses many webpack, requires a lot. And now after we use the optimization for JS file, all this JS file is gonna be converted into a single file with no spaces. Let's see how we can do that. For that we have a plugin too. It is called terser-webpack-plugin. This plugin uses terser to minify your JavaScript. Okay, to do that we are gonna install our terser plugin. Install it, and then we're gonna put that in optimization. We already have optimization this object. Inside that we are gonna instantiate this plugin, new terser plugin. Config, we have this optimization key. Inside that we have already html-minimizer-plugin instantiated. Below that we are gonna instantiate terser plugin too. There you go. I think we are ready to build it again and check our JS file. Okay, ready? Fingers crossed. Oh, okay, there is an error. Did we forget something? Is not defined. We did not define it. Oh, I always do this mistake. This one we have to define it up here, like const terser plugin equals require terser webpack plugin. I always forget this. Okay, we have it now. There is one more error. Is something wrong? Terser plugin. Oh no, we don't need to put that in there. Okay, more mistakes. Okay, it is successful now. Let's see our main.js. Did you see? Is changed into a single line with all the extra spaces gone. That's how we optimize our JS. Yes, we successfully optimized HTML, CSS and JS files, and now I'm gonna do loaders for Sass precompiling and Babel transpiling. Okay, let's head on with that. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a big video. Okay, how do we use loaders for Sass precompiling? First we need Sass files. To do that, I'm sorry about that, I'm gonna open my project, and inside the styles I'm gonna create a folder named SCSS. Inside SCSS folder I'm gonna create main.scss, and also gonna have layout.css, Okay, this main.css is gonna use layout, and inside the layout we are gonna style the p tag we have. For that I'm gonna say like font, I'm gonna take it cursive, and also color, I'm gonna give a color for that like blue. Okay, let's take blue, and I'm gonna say hash bar, it has id bar, that's why I'm gonna use that, and say font family is gonna be dollar font, and my color is gonna be dollar color. I'm gonna save this, and now what I'm gonna do is I have to have the loader for sass file, so I'm gonna install that using npm install sass-loader and sass, and gonna put them in dev dependency just like that. Okay, now I'm installing sass-loader, and we need to configure them in our config file. So to do that, as I previously said, in this use key the order of the loaders is really important. We are gonna use the same object for sass-loader too, because sass converts them into css, right? So first we need sass, right to left, first we need sass-loader, so I'm gonna put that on the rightmost end, and we have sass-loader, and also we have to specify it can be SCSS or CSS. So I'm gonna put the regular expression just like that, and I think that's it. Let's build it and check. Okay, I hope I'm not forgetting anything else. Okay, it did happen successfully. Let's check inside. I think we need to import them inside our JS file. Okay, let's do that by saying import dot slash styles slash scss slash it's gonna be style dot scss. Oh no, main, sorry, it's gonna be main.scss. Okay, I think I have everything. I'm gonna build it again and see. Okay, and now let's open the server, npm run start. I already have webpack server, right? Server webpack dev server. Okay, it says we need to install it. Let's do that. npm install webpack. Let me double check in the package.json. Where is it? I don't have it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let me install webpack dev server. Maybe I made a mistake last time. Let's see if it's gonna install. I think I'm using the correct command, webpack dev server. I think that's the command. double check. I have some notes here. So open webpack dev server. Yeah, do I have it? Yeah, now I have it. Okay, let me run npm run start. There you go. Our webpack has cursive font and it also has blue color. So our sass got loaded, and our main.css inside dist folder also got our css styling. Styling from a css file. So we have successfully loaded our we did sass precompiling. I'm gonna close the server and I'm gonna show what we should do next. We got to babel transpiling. For that we need to use the latest like arrow function inside our JS. For that, let's go to this bar. Okay, I'm gonna option click. Okay, let me convert this into a arrow function. I'm gonna take off default and I'm gonna say like export const bar equals function arrow function, and it returns webpack. Okay, I made bar into a arrow function, and now inside this it's not a default value, so I'm gonna put curly braces around bar so that we can use bar. And now we need to install babel. Okay, to install babel we have some few things to do. Let me double check. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna do, yes, I got it. Yes, first we need to install babel. To install babel we need to use the command npm install add babel core, also babel-loader, also add babel / preset-env environment, and into our dev dependency. There you go, we are installing that, and we need to configure it inside our config file webpack.config.js. To do that we are gonna open this, and inside module.exports and inside rules we are gonna create one more object with test as regular expression goes like this /.js and there, use babel-loader. We are gonna use the babel-loader, and also we are gonna exclude our node modules folder. Okay, I think everything is set. Okay, one more thing is there. Sorry. Inside okay, we got to set our preset. For doing that I'm gonna take off this and open an object there and say the loader as babel-loader, and also under this I'm gonna use options, which opens an object and takes value. I think it has to take preset-env, presets as preset-env. Okay, I think I have everything. Let's see if it's gonna convert our arrow function into a normal function. I think there's some error here. Comma expected. Where is that? 27. Yes, got it. Okay. Main.js. Okay, I'm just thinking how to show about that. I'm gonna npm run build it first, and it has done successfully. Okay, where is this? We have this arrow function, right? The what babel does is inside this webpack. How should I show? Let me take off the terser. I'm gonna comment this, and also where did I use terser? So if I build this again, my main.js has all the code. Inside this code we should have our bar, right? Let me search for that. Bar. Here we have arrow function. Did you see that? Okay. Did I use babel? Yeah, I did use babel. Let me see what's going on. Is that what it's gonna do? Package.json has babel. Okay, we have everything. Okay, main.js file has bar. Yeah, did you see that? It converted our bar function into bar equal to function bar. So it did convert using babel, and it's returning webpack. Yeah, I think it did. That's pretty much it. I think I covered everything in the criteria. That's for today. Thank you for watching my video, guys. Bye. Take care.